Okay, so I actually didn't have the audio on at the start, so yeah, just said that I'm basically at the start of learning the game. Still I have studied some of the open race range stuff and so on, but should be still doing more of that. Definitely. But yeah, I have been playing the four tables, so I think that's pretty good at this point. At least on the stream, I'm not going to be playing anymore. It's paired board on the bottom left. I think still full houses should be quite rare here, so they might have the 6x. And I don't really want to get raised, so I think I just checked here, and now we would definitely want to get raised, I suppose. But yeah, we have to bet, though it looks like they don't have that much, but I think I'm going to still use the 3-4 of the quarter pot. And well, I think he either has the draw on the table 3 or he might have some 6x, so I think we want to go decently sizable. I mean, if he has the 6x, I think he's going to be calling against the pot size as well, but if he has the draw, we are not getting any value anyway, so it's kind of a spot where we still want to bet quite big. We have double pair on the table 3, pot will limp, so I'm going to raise, and because if we get into heads up pot, we have some chances to see bet the pot down. This is really dry flop, so we can go a little bit smaller than, well, it just calls, so I don't think he has better hand pretty well. He might have sometimes, but also we are really shallow stacked, so I think I will just pot here, and he has the top pair or something he might stack off anyway. And he actually has the 7-7. Well, luckily he was so short. Luckily he was so short. Yeah, that's the problem of the small pocket pairs. But yeah, I think we still want to raise that double pair against the limps. If there was open raise, I would have just called. It's pretty weak double pair hand, so. But yeah, fortunate that he was so shallow, so it didn't really hurt us that much. Now let's put the, well, it's going to be, if I put webcam here, it's going to be, well, bottom right we have really strong hand here. I think table 3 we could 3-bet, but I usually just flat these. We have the blocker to aces, so it would probably be plausible one. And we get the nuts. It's rainbow, so I think we want to bet like half pot here. If someone player call, we can pot the turn. And here on the bottom left we have over pair cutshot and backdoor flush draw, so I'm going to call once here. And now we are checking back. We might still have some kings or aces. But yeah, we basically hope that the board doesn't pair. Well, now we get it in. We don't have much of a redraw though, but obviously not still at currently. And he had set and backdoor flush draw gutshot, I suppose it was. Not that I able to. Oh, I actually lost. I thought I won, but. Oh yeah, it was 6-6, so the board paired. Oh well. It was costly one. That was costly one. Well, not quite what we hoped for in the table 4. I don't see really point in betting. Now we get the top pair, top kicker, and not flush draw. It's kind of interesting if he checks. I think we have to call here. I think this looks like some sort of aces quite often. We have a lot of equity against it, and we might be beating some bluffs anyway. And I think at this point, the only hand we are losing against are probably going to usually be queen, queen, or king, king, and there's only 2 combos of those. I mean, maybe he has sometimes like straight on the flop and lays tricky because it's not good for his range, but yeah, he had the air. I mean, theory-wise, he probably should be checking the flop with pretty much all of his range because it's not really hitting the usual 3-bet range. But I don't know if how often that happens in reality. And I don't know, 4-betting, like, does this hand make any sense to 4-bet? I mean, if he has the aces, we are not going to be really in that great of a shape, so basically my strategy is to 4-bet pretty much only the aces usually. Maybe sometimes like ace, king, king, blocking the aces. And once again we have the bottom set. Well, aces should be really rare. Queens are possible, but they probably raise at least, so I think I just bought here. We have the flush draw, but actually I think hitting the flush here is going to be weakening my hand in practice, so I mean we can still get flush draws, some ace, AXs, some sort of Broadway hands to call, and we get the pretty much the worst possible card, I think. No point to bet really anymore. And I think there is no value in betting. Villain might have a Jack 10, for example. He might have some mediocre small flushes. But yeah, I think he called pretty loose here. I mean, he only had the top pair and gutshot. And I did pot against the 4-way pot, so I think that hand should be snap folding pretty much. Well, sevens went queen 10. Kind of a crappy hand overall. But yeah, I'm not using the webcam because it would be going over this bottom right table, bottom right player. Probably doesn't give that much value if we have my face visible or not. Bottom top left, we have suited ace jack. So I think we can defend this from the big blind. I mean, we get the discount. But we don't really hit that much. But I think we probably still want to call because we have the backdoor flush draw. And maybe sometimes we can use the 6-6 pluggers as certain kind of, or 6-6 as a plugger. And yeah, against that sizing we definitely have to call. And when he sizes that small, I don't think he usually has that strong of a hand, but I don't think we want to get wild here anymore any turn. And maybe we might even win sometimes with ace jack, which we actually did. I'm a little bit surprised, but miracle happens. So he had weaker flush draw and got soaked here. Well, now it looks expensive. We have the AC, premium ACs, well, not double shooted, but I suppose as premium as single shoot ACs can be. We pretty much have to be 3-betting, and these guys are actually quite short, so I think even in many 3-way pots we can be. Yeah, I'm just going to pot here. We only have 1.5 times the pot behind, so let's just give him the option. Does he want to stack off or not? And he does. We are pretty much always winning this one. He doesn't have anything. I don't know why he thinks the kings are great in that spot. Well, in table 2 we have top set. It's not the driest flop, but it's pretty dry, so but I'm still going to be betting 3/4 of the. If this was maybe something like queen 7 deuce offsuit, I would go like half pot here, but there are still some straight possibilities, so let's not make it too cheap. So yeah, that was pretty nice donation here. I have no idea why this hand goes plays for stack on the flop. Well, he had backdoor flush draw, I suppose. And pocket kings, which could sometimes be good, I suppose. Well, seems like table 3 we would get nice price, but the hand is total crap pretty much. Like only not possibility is the 7-6-5 pretty much. So if the board would come really small, we would be happy possibly, but table 1 I'm going to raise, but not going to play against the open raise. And one thing I learned is that we have like ace king with the single shoot. It's going to be plausible open from pretty much any position. And it's actually double shooters, so the 6 deuce was a bit small. And against 2 players on the table 2, I'm not going to try to see but the monotone board. I think on the table 3 this hand could be, well, I'm not sure, but it could be reasonable 3-bet. 3-bet from the small blind. We haven't actually gone through any 3-betting so far on the Omaha study group, so 3-betting is kind of a what feels like good for me type of stuff. Jack 10-9-7 definitely opening. And it's going to be, well, easy call. The lane is short, but I mean, there is no point in my opinion to be 4-betting this hand ever. We can take the flop. I think the chances to flop something are good enough even though he is so short. And now we can't really fold, I suppose, so maybe we would want to donk bet here. We have the, of course he might have the aces and we are totally screwed, but he doesn't, we still decently often have some equity, so I mean if we get some random hands to fold, it's pretty good, I suppose, here. And he actually folds, so nice. Of course, if he has like aces, ace-10, we are going to be in pretty horrible shape, but at the same time, the lane is showing that he is definitely not a strong player, so he might be re-betting some random stuff as well. I mean, I think you can pretty much say that someone is not a solid rec, at least if he's not buying into 100 pp. 100 pp. And in unibet it's actually quite often that there is these short stack players. Short stack players around. Is king queen double suited. I think we want to again 3-bet his, especially his positions in the position and against the cutoff, so be pretty nice, but he don't really hit much. I don't know, this might be a spot that we want to check back because we still have 2 backdoor flushes and the nut got shot, so maybe, I don't know, maybe it might be okay to see bet the half pot as well to keep our range uncapped. But if we bet and we face the raise, it's going to be pretty awkward, so I think I just try to get to slow down here if possible. Checking, and well, I'm going to call this 1 pp, but I don't really know. Maybe it's some sort of queen jack, if it's better hand. Really cheap bluff attempt. Well, if he had bet with it a little bit bigger, I might have actually folded, so. Or make it quite a bit bigger if you compare to 1 pp, but so we have the 8 and the weak flush draw, but the problem is that this was 5-way pot, I think, so there's really no point to be drawing into 9 high flush or weak 2 pair. Ace C is on the table too. Well, this sorts like shove does open the 4-bet chance, so that's good for me, I suppose. Especially when everyone goes behind, we get quite a sizable bet here, 4 euros. So let's go for the 4-bet. Okay. This guy just call and then he's willing to stack off. As long as we don't lose to this guy, everything is good. And we won the whole thing, nice. Yeah, one of the interesting things overall was that the open raising range is that small blind we should be opening like 30% as default. And wider from the bottom like 40-50%. And we have another aces. Not totally dry either, we have shooted. And we are pretty deep, so it's almost SPR 10, so I think we want to bet 3-4 of the pot and hope he folds. He doesn't. It's going to be quite often check fold on the turn, I think. Maybe if it was total blank we could pot, for example, for maximum protection, but yeah, I think we want to just check here and probably lose. It's going to be pretty good spot for the villain to bluff as well. So when he checks the turn, he probably doesn't have the queen 10, but he can definitely have a lot of 2 pairs and such. And the same apply to me when I don't bet. It's quite often going to be that I don't have this nuts anymore. So if I wanted to try to bluff the river, I think we would want to use like half pot sizing or something. So we could basically represent some sort of 2 pairs value betting. Like king 9, king jack, something like that. Because if I pot, it's kind of a... Well, I don't know if we could like pot top 2, because as I said, when the villain doesn't bet the turn himself, he also somewhat caps his range usually. We have double pair, king x. I think we can go for the 4-bet. This guy calls, check the flop. We hit this. We have the 6 queen, so we have decent showdown value, but there is pretty much no value in betting. And bottom right, we hit the bottom set, and luckily villain folds. I'm pretty happy about that. It's double suited queen, so I'm going to open. Well, top left we have somewhat connected 9, so let's try again. Defend tier. In dry 9s I would just fold pre-flop. And bottom right, well, we have gutshot, backdoor flush draw. Don't really mind if the villain. Now we actually have double gutshot. 9 or 7 will give us, and villain just call, so I don't know, this might be a good spot to... Good spot, that I didn't notice the 3-bet on the bottom left. I definitely shouldn't be calling this hand. I was somehow reading that it was just raise and call, and then we could probably call here, but yeah, well, I think on the table 4 this is going to be quite a good hand to be bluffing the river now. So have the blockers to absolute nuts, so I'm going to be potting here, and yeah, maybe we could use smaller size as well, but it looks like villain top range is going to often be some sort of 2 pairs, so we should get him to fold extremely often here, I suppose. Maybe we could use smaller bet, get pretty much the same effect, but I mean, at least personally, if I had this straight here, I would probably be potting as well, so considering his range, maybe we should be sizing our bluffs and value bets a bit smaller. I don't know. Top right, I think we can open that hand, and in bottom right, this guy min raising. Well, let's just 3-bet that one as well. And top right we have 5-way pot, so yeah, that was easy hand. And again, one of these I'm not absolutely certain, should we even call in this table 1 situation, like, because this is going to often be, or could even 3-bet be better option. Well, let's go with the 3-bet. I mean, if I call, it's going to be easily multi-way, and hitting small set in the multi-way pot is not necessarily such a good thing, so. But unfortunately, we don't get the heads-up pot here. It's pretty dry flop, but I don't think we should be betting anyway, without really having anything. But on the upper right, we actually have this relatively strong hand. I'm going to be betting it here. Let's just check. We have the gutshots, backdoor flush draw, and we actually hit the straight and backdoor draw. So we have the nuts currently, and we heavily block. Heavily block everything. So I think we want to probably just pot here. Maximum protection. We don't really want to give any sort of cheap card, because this hand is quite easily not the nuts on the river anymore. And he has the 5s. Nice, nice. On table 4, I 4-bet this guy once again. We hit pretty strong here, but we are also quite deep, so we are like SPR 6. He raises. Well, we have such a strong hand. We have the nut flush draw and 10 jack king ace, so yeah, we are going to stack off here quite happily, I suppose. Hopefully 4 doesn't pair, and we want that one as well. Now we have some sort of super hot run, and I accidentally open folded on the bottom left. Super run going on here. But yeah, I think we are actually quite a bit ahead of the queens here. And he actually had double set, which is not good for his chance to improve. King, I'm just going to be calling here. Well, I suppose we could be 3-betting as well, but not that. And then I accidentally clicked the fold button. Too fast mouse. Well, that was neat fold of the decade, I suppose. Too quick mouse should set it a bit smaller. And yeah, again, bottom left, great price, but really hard to hit something we really want in 4-way pot, I think. Because as we saw that earlier, that small set can be kind of a disaster hit as well. Well, let's now just call the king queen 10 against the high jack open. And we don't really hit anything. We have some value with this hand, but not really that much. Now it's kind of interesting when it goes check that should we bet on the turn. I mean, this guy might have the aces too. On the top left, we are definitely 3-betting 10s. I think I will go for like a bit below half pot. Just for protection purposes. And now we are going to be check folding to river. He might have the aces as well, but also flush draw completed. He called with 10s. Well, nice. And we hit the pair plus flush draw with the aces, so let's pot on the top left. And we lane calls, and that is one crappy turn card. When we have only the flush draw, we would have only 25%, but we don't get it, so at fold. We have to fold. Was going to be happily stacking off on the flop, but that was kind of a crappy turn. Or really crappy turn, giving a lot of two pairs straight for the real lane, so I think we just have to fold here. Like, I don't know how likely. I think it's pretty hard for the real lane to be bluffing the turn with weaker hand after calling the flop, so at least that's my opinion. But let's take the image. And 7-7, I'm just folding on bottom right. Well, 10 was a little bit more connected. I would definitely open top left. Well, let's open anyway. I think it's pretty close. This is actually also something that we could just take the picture and check later how high that hand is in the rankings. Well, bottom right definitely going to 3-bet, and this is short stack will lane, so suppose we can be stacking off as well. Well, paired flop. Yeah, I think I'm just going to be. There were deeper stacks, I think I would just check, but they have quite shallow stacks, and we have the nut flush, so. And he didn't fold jacks. Wow. Well, he had cut the backdoor flush draw, I suppose. But well, maybe I should have potted the flop. Maybe he would have folded the 8 jacks at that point. I don't know. And this guy is again short stacks, so I think I'm just going to be 4-betting this ace king jack 10. And he hit the flush here. Yeah, maybe I should have been betting that pot directly. I just thought that it's paired flop, so my standard sizing is half pot here, but yeah, I didn't really think that pocket jacks would stick around like that. We have weak 2 pair on the top right, and ace king here. Like, it could luck be good enough. But yeah, I don't know if it would have made difference overall. Vikings, I'm not going to be calling. Nine, 7, 7, 6, not really much of a hand. On top right we have nice rundown. Only the bottom cap and single shoot, so not too chappy. But yeah, at this point I basically will be training those open race ranges more, and then I should probably buy the poker choose. Makes it easier to analyze those post-flop situations. Three aces and single shoot, well, I'm still going to open that one, and if someone 3-bets, we are pretty happy to 4-bet. It's probably the best possible outcome. Because obviously this hand is not going to improve that often. It looks like we get 4-way pot, so that's going to be just check fold. Check fold candidate. Well, now we have the flush draw. So there is some possibility we are drawing dead anyway. And we are definitely folding. One weird thing, as I have said before on the unibet, I think, is that not much of a hand, but this guy min raises small blinds, so I'm wondering if this would be a decent spot to raise as a bluff here. We have some showdown value, so if he has total air, he's going to be probably shutting down at this point. 50 cent again. Well, probably fold then. And top left, we are on the big blind, so, and probably more people will be calling behind, so maybe we can kind of set mind here. We have the suit to club anyway, so it's not totally dry. Kings. Obviously not the flop we were looking for. And once again we get into 3-bet spot. We have the nut flush and gut shot, so it'll be just bet. Well, I suppose we could go any. I bet 3/4 and he calls. Get pot size. Pot size for the river, for the turn, I mean. But yeah, we had combo draw, or decently good draw here, so. I think we kind of have to be bet calling or betting the hand. Even though it's kind of a rare, kind of a hard overall for me to have, really have two pairs or sets here, I suppose. But double suited deuces, well, I think we still want to fold that one. And these, well, it was single suit, so maybe we would have opened actually ace queen 7 8. Should buy the new cassis. I somehow read that we didn't have any suit here, but well, it's not much of a hand anyway. And of course, if you have like a tight player on the blinds, you can even open close to any 4 pretty much. Top right, the 3 is such a crappy part of that hand that I think I'm just holding right away. Other 3 cards are pretty nice, but that 3 will weaken it way too much, I think. And yeah, I have one of the basics, in my opinion at least basics, but the big blind defending range is also something we haven't checked so far, so that's kind of a question mark as well. And we have ace 10, ace king, ace 10, but there's 2 players, so I'm just going to be checking here. And we actually have double gutshot on the top left, and he bets, so I'm just going to be folding here. Well, I think we still probably want to call on the top left against that sizing. Even raising might make some sense, I suppose, but if I had 7-7-5, I would be raising it here. We hit the problem side of the straight, but he checks, so 5-7-6. But we only have 9 high straights, so I don't think there is value in betting. Oh, actually it was 3-way as well. Again, use your eyes. Bottom left, I should have actually laid out that one. But when it goes check, check, I think danger of higher full house is or should be really low. And I just bought here because I think if they have the jack X, they are probably going to call the pot as well. And top left, I think we want to be just check raising if they will then see bet, but they don't, so we're going to bet ourselves. Well, the question is, I think his range is mostly going to be quite weak unless he has hit like jack with the red jacks here or something. Oh, let's go for like a bit over round half pot. Maybe we get some overpair to hero. Hopefully he doesn't raise now, because that would be kind of awkward, I think. Though he would represent quite a thin range. basically the pocket jacks only, possibly, because I think he would be c-betting the trips really often on the flop. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I think we can 3-bet top right. And we flop the mega nuts. Well, I'm still going to bet half, but I don't know, this might be a good spot to just check and hope he tries something. I mean, if he has 2 pair, he could be still calling, I suppose, or set. I'm mainly targeting those hands, or some weaker flushes. But yeah, that might have been a good spot to just check as well. But at the same time, if he has like set, he's probably going to be checking back. If I check and then we are not going to get as much value, because the set is not going to be calling usually on the river anymore, so he's going to be giving the value on flop and turn. We have 2 pairs here. I think we could be c-betting even in 3-way, but basically I hope that both of them fold, because our hand is going to weaken extremely often on the turn. And here comes the one possible straight, but I'm thinking about, can we bet again, because I think it should be kind of a 7-9 should be, 7-4 should be really unlikely overall. And this guy donk bets, it's paired board, so I think we can't call here. If it was like 10-3 deuce, I think we would have to call, but now if he has the overpair, we are going to draw the 2 outs. So yeah, what was the table where I had the, was it this one? Yeah, this is again turn spots that I'm kind of unsure if my play made sense, so let's take the image and we can ask from someone better in this game. And we got the nuts on the bottom right, so let's spot. So I suppose that board was quite safe overall, even. It was the backdoor flush draw, but yeah, it's never great, never good spot when the board pairs or that flush draw completes. So I think betting pot is totally fine here. We can have some bluffs here obviously as well, like flush draw. So yeah, let's take the image from this one. A7, queen 9. Oh, just fold. It's pretty. No connectivity really here. Well, alright, we get the discount, so let's call it here. 5, 6, ace 5, we have got so to not straight and backdoor plus draw. Well, that didn't really. Yeah, whoops. If this guy checks, I wonder if there was some chance to bluff myself. He bet really small though, so we only had really small flush blocker, if that matters that much. So double suited kings, I think I will go for 3 bet. We can fold to 4 bet. I'm not totally well against this swords player. Yeah, I think we have to. I think we still have like 40% with the double suited kings, even if he has the aces. So he's blocking one of my straight draws. No hit. Well, we could actually mark that one as well. Did the 3 bet make sense? Seven, 10, we have a really strong hand on the top right. So we have the nuts with the redraw to higher straight and the flush draw. And we still have the nuts on the river, so yeah, just both. Maybe he draw calls or has weaker straight or something sometimes. So maybe again we should size it a bit smaller, so it's easier for him to hero call with some 2 pairs. Well, quite dry queens, but we still have a single shoot and it's bottom, so that was actually kind of surprising for me. Like, totally dry queens are not actually such a decent open race hand. Well, we talked about turn barreling spots, so there was the case that this should be pretty good. Pretty good to double barrel spot quite often, but he calls, so he probably has to flush here. That ace queen before we check back. Oh yeah, let's see. Yeah, he has the straight flushed here, so we are not trying to get flush to fold. Now this guy don't bets, which seems quite weird. We are really deep as well, so I don't know if we want to raise here. But it's such a weird line that I'm going to raise. If he 3 bets, we can probably fold, but I mean, it's pretty weird line. Like, even if he has set of 6s here, I don't think he would be 3 betting anyway. We block pocket queens, he just calls the flop, so it should be discounting those. And now we only lose the pocket aces, which will then should never have, so I suppose we are going to bet here. I think something like maybe around half pot would be nice. Spade board, so might not be calling big sizing at least, even if he has the flush. Yeah, I think turn was kind of an interesting spot in that hand. We have 2-6. Well, let's try to bluff here. So we went check on the turn, so we are kind of trying to say we have not such a strong straight, but he actually had this straight himself. He had pretty much what I tried to rep here. So that's usually not going to be a good thing. The question is, I think raising here is going to be a good play, but I wonder if I should have just potted here, and because I definitely want protection for my hand, so I think potting might have been the most sensible option, to be honest. So the pots would have been like, I think close to 10 euro. King 3-5. I wonder if all make any sense with two players. I mean, if we hit the set, it's going to increase our, of course, it's going to be vulnerable or not non-nutty hit set hit. It might be kind of tricky as well. We actually hit the straight draw, but it's 4-way, so definitely I'm not going to be. Deuce or king would be nice. 7 can be a bit awkward because then there is the 8-9, 8-5 possibility. And two players on the bottom left, so I'm not going to see bet. And yeah, I think we can just get out, well, or actually we have the nut flush draw and some nut straight possibilities, so yeah, I think we can call, and then we probably end up folding quite a lot, but we might get lucky and hit something good. I don't think trying top pair is going to be really enough in a 4-way. Hmm, 9-9, we have the nut straight blockers. I wonder if we could try to make some sort of move here. He doesn't fold. We still have the now the nines are even more relevant, so I suppose we are bluffing something. This is the hand to do it. So if he has two pair or set, I think he should be folding quite often. It's rainbow flop, 9-10 completed. So let's see. And he folds. Nice, nice. And then 8-6 cut off. Might be reasonable opener. take the image again, and we hit this second set. We are really deep though, but usually we are starting with the c-bet. If he raises, I'm not going to be backing off, or just calling, but once he doesn't raise, it should be decreasing the queens decent amount, so I think we want to be I think we can just pot it here. On the bottom left we have top pair, gutshot, and gutshot open-ender. So it's going to be the bottom end open-ender, so hitting the queen is not like total nuts, but I think against half pot we still have to call. And we might have the best hand as well sometimes at this point. I think he should be shutting down now with the two pair. If he's betting still the set or something. I think I just fold at this point. If he had bet a little bit bigger on the turn, I would have folded. Well, top right would have been a nice hit. There was open raise and 3-bet, so didn't really want to get involved here. And we don't really flop much on the bottom right. And the chances to improve are going to be so small here. Well, definitely raising against the limper in the table 1. Oh, this guy raises. We are still positioned against him. Somewhat decent hand, though the deuce is pretty crappy, so I'm not sure, maybe we should be just folding. Maybe we should be just folding. And we don't really hit much. So there is decent chance that we get the free turn card. No one has the 8-9. And against two people on the top right, I'm just going to be check folding. We don't really have anything to support the aces. Well, if we win top left, it's quite a miracle. No point to really. Well, if I bet the river, I'm basically representing 5-8, 5-3. I should be betting turn if I had like. I think if I had like king 10 at least, I should be probably betting for protection once the flop goes check. Once again, limper, this guy raises. Well, now we are on the small blind, so worst possible position. And he went for limp 3-bet. And again 3-way pot. Really much chances to improve. If I hit the jack, it's also well, now we have 2 pairs, so if it goes check check, I'm going to be betting. If they bet, I think I'm just folding. I mean, they can have so many better 2 pairs, and if they are like if they don't have the better made hand, there's probably going to be quite decent equity drawing hand. So there's pretty much close to no reverse pot we are actually happy about. I mean, if the 4 comes, it's kind of a decent, but even 10 facing big bet would be a bit awkward, I would say. Left we have bottom pair, not Matisse flush, and he bought. I wonder if we can just fold right away. If I had nut flush, I would be calling, but if the main chance to improve is going to be only the flush draw, then I don't know if there is any point in calling pot size bet. We don't unfortunately have the top set, but we have top pair and flush draw. Well, I don't know if we get over pair to fold by single bet, so and he had only cut shot, I think. And we have queens on the top left 5-weight also. There's double pair board. Someone probably has the trips, though he might not be betting it. Bottom left we have the fuzz nut component, so going to be completing. We unfortunately hit only the top pair, which is not going to be that much. Well, we don't really have much on the bottom right, so I think I just keep it and give up unless we improve to somewhere. And that's not really. We only have 8 as a blocker. I wonder if we could because if we bet, we should get draws to fold pretty much, I think. And we still have the 8, so it's a tiny bit less likely that Villain has the full house here. So maybe it's fine to bet. There's no small cards on the top left. I'm not totally sure if we should be calling. I think we can be calling the 3-bet, but stack is pretty shallow, so it's going to be quite rare that we are going to hit good. That's why I wonder if that pre-flop call is good. I would actually take image of that once again. But I think open raise is probably still fine when we have double suited. Oh, it's on the low side, so it might be close. Might be close anyway, if it's even open raise. Well, I think we could have defended, but now there is 3-bet, so holding top right. Eight, 6, 5, 4, but it's on the top gapper. So I think it's not that good. Yeah, I think Omaha is even more about, like in the hold'em, of course it's important to understand the open race ranges and so on, have the positional awareness and so on, but I think it's even more important in Omaha because it's so important to have those situations that you have a like, for example, if you play total garbage hands, the problem tends to be that you hit, for example, you hit some top 2 pairs, but you don't have any free draws, and then opponent might have the same top 2, for example, or set same top 2 with the redraws or set, and you are going to be pretty horrible shape, even though you have a kind of a good made hand. Well, there is 3 and 4 bets, so just getting away from that one. Ace 7, 7 queen. Well, I don't think that should be four-betting hand. First place. And we won with the queens. It's up 200 pp deep. Not exactly my specialty, I suppose. So should we be betting again? Well, let's try. I don't know if this board is really good because there's not really that much straight draw possibilities. And I also block some of the AXs, so maybe that was not a good spot for double barrel. Jack high flush draw, not really much else, and he pots. So yeah, I think that was bad. Bad second barrel here. We also don't have single space, but I think it would have been better if it was like, let's say the flop was ace 8-7 and here was 10, like some sort of use of spade, for example, completing, so he would have a lot of, or good amount of straight draws that be folding as well. But yeah, once he calls here, and oh, he probably doesn't have like his queen plus usually on the flop. Well, maybe ace queen. I mean, we are pretty deep, so 3-betting ace queen is not something you definitely necessarily want to do. Oh, I think we can pot here. Well, it's quite unlikely that he has better hand at this point. So we also want him to call with weaker draws, I suppose, so size it a bit smaller. I don't know, but I'm right, I think this is not such a strong hand. It's 3 of the low card suited, not on the ace. So it's not, doesn't have that much potential. Especially as I'm deeper on the against the button, against the big blind. And we hit the queens. Well, I mean, we are so deep, the spot is so small that even if they raise, I can probably call. Pretty good double pair, I think we want to be raising or 3-betting usually. This guy raises from the small blind. It's, at least on the hold'em side, is usually indicator of quite a tight range overall, so let's just call because I definitely don't really want to get 4-betted, I suppose. And now we are going to be betting here on the flop. We have the top set nuts currently. Uh, 9-10. I think we want to check probably at this point. And if he has always the 9-10, we are not getting the correct price to call. Oh, the problem is that we also are blocking the straight heavily, so I suppose that is good reason to be calling overall. So now the question is if he bets the river as well. Well, I don't know if he could be bluffing here. There's no flush draws. He could also have some weaker straights like 9-6, 6-4 maybe. Oh yeah. I basically called on the flop because I still have the 10 outs and my pocket 10s made it at least somewhat less likely that the villain has the 10-9, so even if he has like small straight, he might just check on the river. I don't know. But even if we are plugging the nuts, I don't know if we like. I don't think turn bet make that much sense necessarily. Necessarily. Well, nuts on the flop wasn't that anymore on the turn. Quite common thing. Well, turn ace is good in a way. If they all check, I think we want to bet because I think big ace should be protecting at this point, so because it makes full house really hard. Really hard to have the ace 8 at this point. But I don't think there is value anymore necessarily in betting. I don't know, this feels like ace 4 plus or air. I don't know. Ace 4. Fucking luck boxes. Fucking luck boxes. So backdoor flush completes and pair board, so yeah. Suppose we are going to be checking. Oh well. Just trapping such a thin range that's hard to fold, I think. Because I don't think he would take such line with ace queen, ace king. Well, let's mark that one as well, and I can then ask about it. I don't know if he has bluffs on that spot, really, because that's just wondering that how likely is it that the villain would be calling the turn in the first place with some flush draws. But at the same time, as I said, ace 8 is, or quads are going to be rare, so it's not like he's often going to be dead with the flush draw anyway. But of course I have often the AX, so it can be decreased out with the fast draws. But yeah, pretty much ace-4, ace-8 and pocket 8 are the hands we are, well, yeah, there's not any other hands that we are going to be losing against, but anyway. And yeah, well, people like to slow play, so I suppose it's possible. He has like quads sometimes. I would suppose that ace-8 or 8 would often bet the turn, because obviously I'm going to be checking back really often on the turn. Like even if I had a little bit weaker AX, I might have just checked back. So I don't think checking turn anymore here is going to be good play, at least from the will lane. And top right, I'm going to be betting half pot. Let's hope that the will lane folds. And double suited 7s to ace as well. I think we can probably ISO here. And we hit the nuts with blocking will lane heavily, or blocking the straight heavily. Well, there's not really that much draws will lane could have, so let's not pot the turn, but go with the little bit smaller bet, but unfortunately he folds. Min raise on the top left. We don't have such a good hand, but I mean, maybe it's fine to defend against that sizing anyway. We are quite close. If the queen was a bit smaller, it would be quite a strongish hand overall. Nine, 8, 7, 8. 3 is a bit nasty, but it's open from the bottom. And we get only gut shots, so no issue if they will then, even though we have backdoor flush draws, but they're also kind of a weak one, so this might be a good spot to just pot. I mean, he doesn't have like king queen or something, he's going to be usually well, we are blocking this 7-5 at least somewhat. He doesn't have sets most of the time. So let's go for the bet on the river. And he calls with king 8. Oh well. I think that was quite loose call. Bluffing doesn't work always. Maybe it was bad one. Maybe it was bad one. I actually forgot to see that here. Well, maybe we win with the pocket tens. Oh damn, I would have bet any or well, pretty much any set for valued here. The top left. Probably not top 2 anymore, but oh, we have gone bit down on the 25 PLO10-25 tables. Oh, top right was really short stack small blind. Well, I don't know. Probably doesn't matter. But well, we have straight on the top left, and we got wrap on the right. Well, we have ace jack on the bottom left, so it might sometimes be good. Oh, he had 8-3. Basically has the same hand. Same hand, stole 2 pairs. Oh, help. Just checking that this guy seems to be actually quite a calling machine. Quite a calling machine. I mean, he called my turn pot bet with the top pair, king jack, gutshot. And 10-1, once the basically the most obvious draw on the flop from the flop completes, he still stacks off king 8. Well, maybe wrong target for bluffing. I mean, I would have snap folded in his shoes at least on the turn. Well, we have ace-4 plus 3 overcards. He doesn't bet, of course. Well, let's hope that the flush doesn't complete. And now we don't have value in betting anymore. But well, luckily won the pot anyway, but I think it would have been reasonable spot too. Well, there is deuces, so we have no need to protect on the top left. I mean, even if queen jack king comes, we are still going to be ahead. So I think we can probably just check twice if they don't bet. We still have to call here once. Problem is, if he bets again, he might easily have like queens, kings, jacks type of hand. But yeah, I think getting too straight of value is just something that is probably usually not going to happen. So. Not a good card. Bottom left. Well, we have straight wrap on the bottom right, bottom left. So we can count. Problem is that the spade might not be the out anymore. We might have some implied if we do hit the straight without the spade. But we don't get the don't get the direct pot odds here. Well, I think we are still somewhat on the profit. Check 60. 16. 26 euro. Yeah, around 20 euro on the plus side. Well, probably not winning with the good sevens. 4 twos. Okay. Almost straight. Well, would have the great prize, but we only have basically four not out, so and yeah, that it would be really not such a good draw at this point anyway, because chances of bigger straight or bigger flush draws would have been quite big. Well, we hit pretty strong here. little bit too big on the bottom left. 10-cent bets, but we don't really know if we can assume. Well, we might be aligned with the 2 pair draws, I suppose. Well, bottom right would have been actually pretty nice hit. I don't know, maybe it was fine to defend. Well, it's relatively dry flop, so I wonder if c-bet make any sense. I don't know if we have enough fold equity against 2 players, maybe not. Okay. Looks like not this time at least. We have kings with the suited ace, so let's 3-bet. And we hit the top set. SPR6, well, let's just put it. Not exactly dry flop, even though it was rainbow. Yeah, we still have just 2-7 on the bottom left, so probably not winning. Any €2 on the plus side currently. Ace king, but there is also the straight possibility. So, well, I don't know, maybe we could be leading anyway, but so I think we have pretty much the nuts here still. Or close to it, because oh, he had the tens. He didn't bet the flop. I was thinking that all the sets and straight would bet the flop, but seems like he was probably somewhat too scared about the straight here. But still beating any 2 pair, and I would imagine decent amount of toes to still call, so I think the value bet was fine. Not flush draw, but pairs flop. We don't really have much value. I'm just folding right away. Especially king queen is so easily someone has the full house, or if they have the king x, they have outs the full house so much. Ace is on the bottom right. Open raise 3-bet and we would have the 4-bet possibility. Kind of a dream scenario. But no 3-bet, and he only min raises, so our sizing will be on the lower side. I think on the top left the king x might be quite a big portion of the villain range, so. And these are something that I'm not really aware. Should we be how happy about this flop situation? It still would be somewhat hard for the villains to hit that one. Imagine. Now we have the flush draw. 7-5 completes 5 2s, but 5 2s should be rare. Plus completes. Well, it's the full house possibility, but I mean, it should be pretty rare, I would imagine. Question is, can we get weaker flushes or straights to call? I would imagine that the full houses would usually bet themselves here, so I think I will go for the value, but this is the absolute weakest hand I would try to value bet, and I'm not sure if I should be really, but once he doesn't snap call, I would imagine we are good. Or he's slow rolling, or he trolling, who knows. And he called with this 5-7. Nice. Well, yeah, he had ace 5-7, so he had double gutshot. I was just thinking that he actually had only one gutshot, but he had double gutshot, so maybe it was fine. But that's one of the issues when I play Omaha, is that I get like zillion mark hands in our, and the replayer is not working, so let's take the reverse situation image only. King Jack 10-9. Annoying upper capper. maybe we can still call from the position, or maybe 3-bet would make, I don't know. Or maybe we should be folding, but I think now we have to call, and now we have to stack off. And we have 2 pairs. Oh, I'm not sure it's rainbow hand, so maybe it should be just folded. Folded pre-flop, even though we have the best position. I think the positional advantage is somewhat more important than on the hold'em, even though it's of course big deal in the hold'em as well. And yeah, with this bottom right I actually didn't remember anymore, but it was the same player who made that questionable, or at least in my opinion questionable, call down on the top left, so this guy. So we know that he's kind of a call happy guy, or should have used that info, but kind of forgot. But yeah, I might end the session soon and keep a bit of a break, and then probably have the normal SNC/MTT session on the evening in 1 or 2 hours. Bottom right we have Jack high flush draw, but not really anything else in 4-way pot, so basically we don't have anything. So the price is great. I don't know, against this sizing we might still have the profitable call, but let's just fold and not get into stupid situations. I mean, it's kind of questionable if the flush completes. Do we want to try to? We probably have to check, and then we are kind of bluff catching anyway, so. But yeah, here on the aces hand, Willen was betting so small. So small on the turn that, yeah, it's not working. But I think it was like €6. €6, so we only needed like 25%. Of course, if he has always the straight, we don't quite get it, but we had the implied odds, at least against this guy. At least against this guy. I'm not sure if 3-betting this sort of 8-9-8-7-5 is a good idea, but I think it benefits still from the heads-up pots, but unfortunately we don't get the one. This is kind of an interesting flop, though. I think c-betting might be reasonable here, because I mean, even if they have Jack X, they shouldn't really be that happy about it. Because if I have overpair, I'm going to be crushing toes pretty much. Interesting river. Because I'm the one who 3-betted. Oh well, this might get costly. Well, I don't have any A's, which is the downside, of course, but let's bet once, and if they shouldn't be calling it like plain flush draws anymore. Okay. Weird line. Well, obviously I can't go with the 9 high, but ace deuce maybe, or red jacks or something. Yeah, maybe it was just stupid bluffing in 3-way, but obviously Will Lane wasn't scared about the aces. Or he didn't care about the possibility. I mean, I would have played the aces exactly that way. Anyway, see betting small for protection because the deuce X is still going to be, my opinion, at least somewhat rare. And I don't really want to give 3 cards in 3-way with the aces here. But yeah, I was just thinking that I bet the turn and probably give up pretty much always on the river, so I don't think I would have fired the third barrel anymore. I think the turn bets, if he doesn't have like AX of spade or some ace jack or something, it's probably going to be working often enough. This guy really likes those min raises. Well, we get the open ender and top second pair. And he bets so small that we definitely have to call. But we don't hit Western ace. Is there any sense in bluffing? We don't have the club though. But we should get top pair hands to fold, I would imagine. Or 2 pairs as well, quite often. Ace, ace, king, king. Not double shooters, no, but I think I just check fold top left. C bets on these flops doesn't work, it seems. I don't know, maybe it folds often enough still, but then h6, that was exactly what we hoped for. Well, king or ace on the river would be nice. That's not horrible either, actually pretty nice. And I would imagine not too many are checking better hand here, so I think we can bet against and try to get some pocket pairs to call. I would imagine it's close to free roll bet. Close to free roll bet. But yeah, I think I will take the sit out next big blind. Play the few remaining hands until the big blind hits. If we get any half decent hand. Then 9. Well, it's not really much of a hand. I think bottom right is bottom left is quite decent, even though the shoots are not But on my favorite hold, flop is pretty horrible. Don't even draw 14, not full house. King queen would have been that's one I would have called on the flop, but oh, did I actually have 2 more? I don't know how long that has been. Oh well. Maybe you have had action on one table for who knows how long. Yeah, not much of a hand. And yeah, that was the last hand, so let's check the result. Got some profit, at least actually quite decent profit. It's going to be 36. Almost 50 euro actually. Not bad, not bad. But maybe the most important thing, decent amount of hands to look into once again. But yeah, I don't know if I stream the next session, might or might not. Anyway, bye for now.